Did you know for Batman Begins, Christian Bale decided early on in the audition process that he didn't want to play Batman straight, but to play him as a rage-filled monster, figuring that it might polarize writer and director Sir Christopher Nolan. To his delight, Nolan was thrilled with his off-kilter interpretation. 2. Christian Bale revealed in interviews in 2009 that in his first scene with Sir Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman, one involving Bale waking up in bed to find them waiting there, he fell asleep after getting ready for the scene. Bale described waking up to find Caine poking him in the ribs, saying, "Look at that, he's bloody fallen asleep." 3. Due to his part in The Machinist, Christian Bale was vastly underweight when he was under consideration for the part. After being cast, he was told to become as big as you could be by Sir Christopher Nolan. Bale underwent a 6-month dietary and exercise regimen and ending up weighing about 220 pounds, about 40 pounds above his normal weight. It was decided that Bale had become too large. Friends of his on this movie's crew dubbed him Fat Man, and he quickly shed about 20 pounds to have leaner, more muscular frame. Bale described the experience as an unbearable physical ordeal. Did you know for Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts received an unprecedented salary for her lead role, making her the first woman to break the $20 million barrier? 2. The character George, the biker boyfriend played by Aaron Eckhart, was based on Erin Brockovich Ellis's Mexican-American biker boyfriend Jorge. Erin and Jorge did break up, but he did not leave her life. He was hired as a full-time live-in nanny for Erin's children for several years, paid for by the law firm so that she would have more time to devote to her work. 3. Julia Roberts won the Academy Award for Best Actress for her role as Erin Brockovich, and famously forgot to thank the real Erin Brockovich Ellis in her acceptance speech. Afterward, she was quoted as saying, "It doesn't bring out the Albert Einstein moment that you hoped it would." 4. Albert Finney initially turned down the film. Danny DeVito had to convince Finney's girlfriend to convince the actor to change his mind, offering to schedule all of the actor's scenes as Ed Masry closer together so he wouldn't have to be in Los Angeles as long as earlier scheduled. 5. The real Erin Brockovich Ellis claimed that while her cleavage may have had an influence, she never consciously used her body to manipulate anyone as the movie shows. Did you know for Lost in Translation, this is Bill Murray's favorite film of his own? 2. Sofia Coppola wasn't sure if Bill Murray was actually going to show up for the film. Murray works without a management, and according to Coppola, he had only given her a verbal confirmation. While production was being set up in Tokyo with no sign of him, she started to get nervous, but was assured by Wes Anderson, who had directed Murray in Rushmore and The Royal Tenenbaums, that Murray was a man of his word. It was indeed when Murray landed in Tokyo 1 week before filming that his participation was ensured. 3. Sofia Coppola wrote the lead role specifically for Bill Murray, and later said that if Murray turned it down, she wouldn't have done the movie. 4. This film was filmed in 27 days. 5. The kiss between Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson at the end of the movie was not in the script, but was an in-the-moment ad-lib between the performers. Scarlett was 17 during filming. Murray was 52. 5. Bob was asked to channel Roger Moore when shooting the Suntory commercial, but he said he liked Sean Connery better. In the real world, Sean Connery actually did commercials for Suntory. Did you know for X-Men, Hugh Jackman took ice-cold showers every morning of filming in order to help get into character? This tradition started when jumping into the shower at 5 a.m. before realizing there was no hot water. Shocked awake but not wanting to wake his sleeping wife, he gritted his teeth and bore it before realizing that this mindset, wanting to scream and lash out at something, but having to hold it in, was the mentality that Wolverine is in constantly. He then made cold showers his Wolverine preparation routine for each movie featuring the character. 2. Shortly after accepting the role of Magneto, Sir Ian McKellen was offered the role of Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings, which, originally, he had to decline. He spoke to director Bryan Singer about his interest in making The Lord of the Rings, and Singer agreed to rearrange this movie's shooting schedule so that McKellen would finish his scenes by the end of 1999. Freeing him up to travel to New Zealand in January 2000, where The Lord of the Rings had been in production since October 1999. 3. Sir Patrick Stewart was the first actor to be cast as a mutant, and in fact, had been a fan favorite for the role of Professor X since the 1990s, especially after X-Men. Did you know for Mrs. Doubtfire, talk of a sequel began in 2003, with a script being written by Bonnie Hunt. Robin Williams was set to return in disguise as an old nanny like in the first movie. Due to problems with the script, Rewriting began in early 2006 as Williams was allegedly unhappy with the plot. The film was expected to be released in late 2007, but following further script problems, the sequel was declared scrapped in mid-2006. The sequel's story was originally said to involve Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire, moving close to his daughter's college, so he could keep an eye on her. Serious discussions regarding the sequel reignited in April 2014, with an announcement that Williams and Chris Columbus would be teaming up with Fox 2000 Pictures to produce the sequel. Williams's sudden death just 4 months later ultimately sealed the project's fate once and for all. No one replaced him either. 2. Chris Columbus was amazed how far Robin Williams took his performance. First, he played each scene as scripted 2 to 3 times, and then was allowed to improvise, or playing, as Williams called it. Columbus allowed Williams a lot of improvisation, because that was where the film's funniest material came from. In fact, Columbus called it magical at times. Did you know for I, Robot, the idea of a robot hiding in a large group of identical robots comes from the Isaac Asimov story Little Lost Robot, which appeared in the original book. Sonny's dreams in which slave robots are liberated comes from the Asimov short story Robot Dreams, a sequel to the book. 2. No reshoots were required, a rarity for a movie as big as this. 3. The motorcycle that Will Smith's character rides in the movie is a 2004 MV Agusta F4 SPR. Will Smith told how he wrecked the motorcycle at around 60 miles per hour during the filming of the scene at the robot storage facility. You can see him begin to lose control in the film. 4. When Will Smith walked into his first I, Robot meeting, the first thing he said was, "I have to save the world in every movie I make." Everyone present who cherished the complexity of the script felt their hearts sink. At the movie's premiere, when the lights came up, Smith's son, Jaden Smith, turned to him and said, "Dad, you gotta stop saving the world in every movie you make." 5. The car used by Will Smith's character is a concept car called Audi RSQ, which was designed exclusively for the film and includes special features suggested by director Alex Proyas. Did you know for The Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield requested that the song Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory be played when filming the otherwise silent scene in which Peter goes into the web harvesting room with the spiders. 2. On selecting Andrew Garfield to play Peter Parker's Spider-Man, director Mark Webb said, "Though his name may be new to many, those who know this young actor's work understand his extraordinary talents. He has a rare combination of intelligence, wit, and humanity. Mark my words, you will love Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker." 3. Andrew Garfield admitted to shedding tears when first wearing the Spider-Man costume. 4. After Dennis Leary was cast, his friend Jeff Garlin, a Spider-Man fan, said, "I knew you would get the part." To which Leary replied, "Why? Because I'm such a great actor?" Garlin then said, "No, because you look just like Captain Stacy." 5. Before filming, Rhys Ifans researched his role by meeting several real handicapped people with missing limbs. He also spent 1 month performing his daily activities using only his left hand, including tying a tie. The script had a small snippet written where Connors ties a tie, but it was not filmed as it was too time-consuming. Did you know for Aladdin, Sir Patrick Stewart campaigned for the role of Jafar? He had previously been forced to turn down the role in Aladdin due to his commitment to Star Trek The Next Generation, and has regretted it ever since. 2. Will Smith said that he was terrified while playing the character of Genie, but that he found a lane that pays homage to Robin Williams' performance in the original Aladdin, while still making the role his own thing. 3. Guy Ritchie chose Will Smith to be Genie because he believed Smith could give a performance as good as the late Robin Williams, but not similar. Just the flavor of the character would be different enough and unique enough that it would be in a different lane, versus trying to compete. 4. Guy Ritchie was primarily interested in doing the film because it was the Disney story he was closest to. My stories are really about street hustlers. That's what I know how to do. And Aladdin is a classic street hustler who makes good. He also decided to do a children's film for his 5 children. 5. Jim Carrey was the original choice for the Genie, but at the time he was involved in a much publicized lawsuit, so couldn't commit to any long-term work.